Anyway, guys, thank you so much. I really do appreciate you guys all joining me, coming from Periscope, meeting me there, coming over here onto Facebook. And, today we're really just talking a lot about, business on Facebook. And some people are trying to make the argument that it's a dead horse, in that the only way to get any kind of good traction is by spending a lot of money. I personally don't think that way. I don't, at least in the way that I use Facebook. There's some people, if they're not getting like, 1,000% increase in their shares and engagement, and like they feel like it's just not worth their time. And I don't really agree with that. One, I don't think that likes are the best metric to follow on Facebook, and you guys know my opinion on that. Because it's not. It's really about the engagement, and then what is Facebook actually driving traffic to your website, to what you're trying to offer. Because if we all just kind of hang out on Facebook and we don't, we're all just kind of like patting each other on the back, what's the point? We want to drive traffic. If Facebook is not the end destination, it really is meant to be. It's that providing that social proof to be able to take the next step and hit the buy button, or go to your website and be able to hit the buy button. So I said on Periscope, like I was thinking about like this idea for a business opportunity. You have 160 page likes. I now post daily multiple times using the scheduling tool. I see about 8 to 60 people are reached. I think that's good. Stacy, before I get into what I was going to talk about, Stacy, that is a good start. Keep it up. Facebook is going to give you more love by being consistent. And I'm talking like, think of like in a 2 to 6 week time frame. Don't think like in the number, I've been doing this for 3 days and I'm done. No, you got to be doing this for give it a good 6 weeks. But slowly increase your posts, and think of it like it puts your name more in the lottery to be seen. Don't overdo it. If you start getting like 150,000, page likes, or, we're talking like over 1 million page likes, then you can afford to start doing, you can afford to start posting like 23 times a day, right? Or 26 times a day, whatever the case is. So one of the things that I've been thinking about doing, and it's actually using several different social medias together in this way. We're using some of the Skypes, phone calls. Using Facebook as a lead capture. That's what's going to drive your traffic. And tell me your first thoughts. And Ed, I think actually you're kind of you're actually probably more right up the alley than I had even. I didn't know you were going to come on this today, but I'll ask you the question. One of the businesses that we run actually on Restorable Living is network marketing company, or the offer, right? And we do that because there's a number of people that are looking to be able to start a business, but they don't have a lot of money. Okay, and what's nice about nowadays is that I think there's a lot of different business opportunities that don't require you to have a lot of money. And I mean by like a lot of money to get started is like $35, right? And that I can't imagine within a few dollars of that is below that. You don't want to get into like such a just start your business for free, because you want some commitment level from people, But so one of the things is to help people overcome their fear of starting a business. What I'm doing and proposing is putting together and say, look, if you want to start a business, I want to help you start a business to get real results within the next 30 days, within your first 30 days in the business, by offering you, one, I'm going to give you a discount on the business, but it's an incentive that you have to earn. Okay. 2, I'm going to give you coaching for that first 30 days. We're going to meet at least once a week, and I'm going to be able to walk you through what you should be doing that week, check on you, hold you accountable for the last week, what you're doing now, your results, and be able to take you to that next step. And 3 is be able to provide you with all of the background sales info, engagement styles, and a lot of the things that we kind of talked about here, and train you on one of the platforms that you want to use. And so my question is adding that, is that too much to get people in? Because really all it is, it's a big push to get people to join very quickly and to be able to take away almost all the objections for them to be, all the objection reasons why they wouldn't start a business or why they wouldn't be, interested in starting. Does that make sense? That's kind of my thought is going, if you're trying to start a business and we offer those things, and even the incentive is like, look, if you join and you're able to do these steps, and then and you're doing the things that qualify you for this, then I'll even write you a check and send you like, I think, I don't know how much the money, but I'll send you something back as kind of like let me give you your first paycheck for having success in your company, in your business. I mean, I don't think that's overkill. What are some of the comments saying? Buying fruit skin. Parrot don't. I have not been following the comments. But I mean, if you remove the objections for joining a business prior to doing that, I mean, am I jumping the gun, or do I need to wait for them to ask the questions and then already have my, I just kind of wonder, at least in the sales training, because I think, Ed, you do a lot of sales training. Is that something how would you kind of handle that situation?
Well, you have all the key elements. They do go through, the individuals go through the different phases, though. When you're starting, and I can relate to it pretty well because 7 years ago I started this business of mine. I left a corporate job with a 401k, making a very good living, and I went out to do, as a corporate sales trainer. I was a sales trainer for a large company, so I stayed in the same product. I wasn't like I jumped to a restaurant business from corporate training. And my biggest fear was that security blanket of, I was going to get that paycheck every 2 weeks. Then when I went out on my own, I wasn't running to the mailbox to see if my direct deposit hit. So I think the biggest part is many people that get into the business, they understand their product very well. They have that fear of, what's every other Friday going to be like by that paycheck, and when am I going to be like at the age of 62? Is my 401k going to be there? So I think that the biggest thing, once they overcome that fear that that's going to be addressed, and that chance and that dare. Now, I did many things to sort of, I left the company I was with, the corporation, I left on great terms, and in such a way that they gave me a 6-month window of opportunity. They were rooting me on to succeed, but they knew that, and I know, like you say, well, if you had that 6-month window to come back to work for them, I didn't want to go back to work. I wanted to be successful in my company, and I'm glad I did. But I did eliminate certain things. I made sure I put enough money away for savings for health insurance. So I covered a lot of things that was going to eliminate the fear. And I believe when I work with quite a few young people, meaning, the ages between 20 to 35 in the B2B business-to-business sales. And most of them, they're always worried about, I could go get a guaranteed paycheck, but when that they got that fear with commission. And part of my sales training, I might be there to teach them the concept of sales training that day, or goal setting, or leadership training. But usually part of my day is spent on teaching them how to overcome that fear and the things they need to put in place. And I believe what you're talking about is would be a major piece that people really need. And then those other steps that you were talking about, they definitely will need in time. So it definitely would fill a need for many people who are, looking to start that business, because so many people do not have that person to help them through it.
And and that's exactly kind of my point, is that I remember when I first started out, you get in and you have that excitement, that's great for everybody that's new. They have that willingness to learn for the most part. They want to get, okay, so tell me what to do. And a lot of people, I think, when they join, particularly, and this is one of the reasons why I think network marketers have a really bad name, is that they're like, I get in. And then they just let people completely fall flat. There's no training, or the training is, okay, guys, this is what I want you to do. I want you to post on Facebook, and I want you to tell all of your friends, and then I want you to tell them about the products, and then make sure that you have your business. And I'm kind of like, those are all good things, but not when you do them either out of order or you do them out of context. Because if you're not telling, if you join a business, and, you start a business and you're just kind of like, don't tell anybody, they're not going to know. But then if you go the other extreme where you're throwing up on them and everything you do is about this and this and this, people are just going to be like, yeah, I don't want to know. And having that person there to try to help them, it's do a little bit of a ramp up, but integrate it into who they are. I think that's something that I really think is missing for a lot of brand new people, because I think a lot of network marketers are looking for these superstars that are just come in and they're just gonna kill the business, and they're those are the people they want to spend their time with. But I think we have a lot of like hidden gems in here, so networking is promoting a business with a product being secondary. JV is generally about the product and the business consistently. Okay, so that kind of addresses one of the things that I really think about. I think that if you're going to join a network marketing company or like an affiliate marketing or something in that kind of realm, that you have your own brand. I think it's absolutely essential. You have your own brand, and that you don't become what you're selling. Your selling is coming in under who you are. It's like a hand and glove fit. Okay, it's not. It doesn't mean that all of a sudden Restorable Life now becomes this product. No, the product is now part of what Restorable Living does. It's so it's like the blogging boot camp is part of one of the services that Jonathan Tripp offers, as well as as well as business coaching, as well as Instagram training, as well as Facebook content strategy. It's all in there. But I'm not content strategy. I'm JonathanTripp.com. And I think understanding and getting in those realms, and that's one of the things that I really try to help people understand in the blogging bootcamp right off the bat, is that, look, you really got to go through and you have to really think about and understand who you are and who it is, where you want to go with it, so that you can do all the steps, and everything you're doing is pushing you towards that one end goal. That's your game. All right, let's see. Because yesterday we had a really hard time getting on. Maybe we'll already have. All right, how we doing? We have Sylvia on.
Hello. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay.
Let me actually turn up some of my stuff here. There we go. How are you doing?
I'm good. Had a good birthday yesterday. Thank you.
Yes. 23 years young. I know.
Oh yeah, and counting. I had a question about something you're talking about. And I don't know when my baby's going to wake up, so I may have to scram fast. But
that is just fine.
When I first started the network that I'm in, I was brand new. My parents did Amway years ago, but I was a teenager, didn't really care what they were doing, I remember them going to the meetings, stuff like that. But I have found that I started in February of last year. No, 2014, with an MLM. And brand new, green as green can be, don't know anything about network marketing, just totally ignorant to all of it. My upline, the girl that signed me up, was training me. And she had just been in it about a month before me. So she ends up probably about 5 months in, decides to go somewhere else. I don't know if she's going through a rough time in her life. I really don't understand, but she just kind of left the company. And I'm just sitting there going, okay, now what do I do? Because she was training me and now I have nobody. Don't even know where to turn to even get training. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, and so there was a few YouTubes out from some of the top tools, and I watched them, and all I kept hearing is like you're saying, tell everybody on Facebook, tell all your friends. So I basically, in a nutshell, started puking my business on everybody. So much that I kind of just, people started unfriending me because they're like, well, every time I get on Facebook, it's just you and that business, and I was like, well, what am I doing that, like, everybody needs this. Everybody needs to be a part of this. Why aren't they wanting it? But I see your point, because when you puke your business on everybody, it does turn everybody off. So now that I made that mistake, going back, trying to stop doing that to everyone has been hard because they still don't want to hear me. So what do you do from here to try to correct that mistake?
Well, I know there's a couple of things. One, you have to show that you're still consistent. Social Biz Kings is rebranding, and that's kind of one of the things. But what I was going to say is that you show yourself to be consistent in that just because something's rough for you, and it shows even when you're not advertising that things are hard, it does come across as it will come in. Okay, so one thing is, don't give up. Don't just go, oh, I can't do this, and now you quit. You have to almost have to kind of like go into like a mental overdrive of going, I can do this. That's right. That you have to. If you don't start there, all your other actions, when something doesn't work, you're going to already chalk it up to such a big failure. You're going to take it personally, and then it's going to implode your business. Okay, as opposed to explode your business. Okay. So that's the first thing that I would say. The next thing is that I would say is that you need to start reaching out and finding new people on ways to connect. Okay. Now, I've done Periscope and now Blab. I've started on Twitter as a different place. It's a different sphere for me, because even as of like 2 months ago, I wasn't active on Twitter. I just wasn't. Like, I had one. I got one in there. I signed up because I didn't want somebody else to get the name. Does that sound bad? Right? I don't really care if it sounds bad or not. I did it.
That's true.
So I grabbed the name but I never really used it. Or like I would on my Instagram, I would post and I would share it to my Twitter, but I wouldn't go to Twitter and try to engage and get people, and have conversations there. So my thought, my encouragement to you would be, go out and find new friends on new platforms. If you feel that you're not getting good results, say on Facebook, okay? If you're like, I don't, but I really want to try. I mean, there is the option that you can start running. You can do some very specific low cost ads on Facebook, but they've got to be really specific, especially if you're starting with a lower budget. Okay. And you have to be willing to give it more time, because I mean, it's either with Facebook, it's either time or it's money. I mean, you can't put both in. Like we were talking about yesterday, Steven, he's like, yeah, I spent like 35 grand. And he leveraged it into over 1 million people on his Facebook page. Personally, right now, I'm not going to drop 35 grand in Facebook ads. And I have
35 grand to drop.
Right. And that may be the case. That may be the issue is not so much your willingness as much as your ability. How feasible is it? It's not a really good option to drop, a year's salary at your job in Facebook ads and hope that something will come out. The other side of it is this, right? And this is one of the things that this is where I'm kind of putting it together. And I'm doing something to try to help draw in new business, okay? It really comes down to this. It's like I'm putting a skill set that I have out there, or a skill set that I'm developing, in order to help other new people, incentivize them. It's kind of like adding it's like adding a free lead to get people to opt in. Okay, it's the same kind of thing. Look, I'm going to do this, this, and this if you will do this. Okay, we keep it really simple. When you go to those pages, the web page is like, hey, we're going to start a webinar. Sign up so I can send you the link. And it's just a really passive way of saying, give me your email.
Right.
And I'll give you the webinar. Okay? I mean, you guys all did it. Mm-hmm. You guys all did it. How do you think I got you in the Bloggy Bootcamp? Now you're on my list. Right?
That's not a bad thing, though.
No, but that's the whole point for me is that it's not a bad thing, because I'm not out there emailing you and scamming you and doing all this stuff like that, right? Did you see Sharon over there, Sylvia? I think it's actually, I don't know which way it is. Yeah, make sure you connect with her. I think you two would be able to work really well together. So we talk about be consistent in your approach. Find new friends or new places to find friends. Okay. You can go. I would be also the other thing is I would be very careful about putting your offer on the very front side. Being a cheerleader doesn't. It's if you feel like you've gone through those initial steps, then change your strategy up. Don't just be like, hey, I got this product and you need to do this, or I have this service and you need to do this and blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden you turn to like, whether it's green or pink or blue or whatever the color of your business is, or your opportunity, that you just become that. And like, that's all that people see. No, you need to be, you need to be Sylvia.com, right? That's right. What you want. You want people to know that your business is you and that you're offering this. And so you can now go into, different Facebook groups and you can offer, say, look, sign up within the next 10 days or 20 days or whatever. Sign up this week. I have 3 spots left to coach for business coaching. I want to give you 30 days of free business coaching for the first some odd people that sign up. And that's what I'm doing right now. And I just, so don't use that, because I'm going to do it. Right? Okay. But that's really the point is that, in growing your business, you have to find that thing that you're going to do or be willing to do. Now, I'm doing this knowing full well that I'm going to probably die at the end of that 30 days from the amount of work that I expect to come in.
Right.
Because it's going to be a lot of time commitment on my part. But I'm willing to do it because I think it's going to really grow my business, Sylvia.
Right.
And it's really hard.
On MLM Nation the other day, one of our top jewels said that what she has done that's worked in the past is she has like a short video and she'll post it to her Facebook and she'll say, watch this video and let me know 3 things you got value out of and I'll give you a 3-day supply. And I just listened to that the other day and I thought that's a great idea because they're not really investing in anything but 5 minutes of their time.
And
for
then how much
something
is that?
Free.
Okay, well, it's not free.
What is to them?
How much does it cost you
right.
to give out that? Okay. So I really want you, and so doing that as opposed to putting together that video and putting a small ad that runs. If your 3-day supply costs what,
$12,
$10-$12.
Mm-hmm.
I've run ads for, and let's just say you get 3, okay? 3 people. That's what, $30 right there, give or take. I've run Facebook ads for $1 a day each, and each campaign is just $1. So if I want to result in a week, I can spend $30 in a week, and I can get. I did that for weeks, and I grew my email list like faster than I ever thought. There were some people that had been in a business, and they were like, "Yay! I finally broke like 500 on my email list," and I went, 500, and you've been in this for how long? Literally twice as long as I have. And they were like, "Yay!" I'm all for celebrating the small wins and all. I wasn't like, but inside I was going, I have tripled that number, and I've only been doing this for like a month, or actually at that point I think it was like 2 months. It's like, oh my goodness. And it was just going, like, okay, so I have something here. I need to leverage it. I need to use it. So my thought would be just right off the bat of going, what if you invested that time into getting people's emails and growing your business so that you can connect with them? And again, kind of getting into a lot of what Ed was saying. Ed, are you this way on the screen? You're this way for me.
The other way.
Okay. Ed, just like Ed was saying. Because for me, it flips.
It's like the Brady Bunch.
Right? Right and left. No, wait, hold on.
You're up here.
No, but a lot of what Ed was saying is that, when you pitch, when you have your business opportunity, so you have your business opportunity and you have you make your offer, you need to provide value for where they're at.
Right.
Knowing full well that when they partake, they sign up, they join, or they purchase your product or your service, that they're going to then go to that next level, and you need to be mentally ahead of them to be able to answer those questions that they're going to be asking later on. But you can't answer question number 3 until they're done with question number 1. Hey, Australia, wow. Thanks, man. Thanks for coming in. So I understand exactly where, at least I think I understand exactly where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Man, thank you so much, guys. If you haven't already, guys, make sure you guys follow each other. If you feel like you guys are all in this together, doing you're a community now. That's one of the things that you guys are getting, and I want you guys to think of it like that. Okay. So I want you to be able to think about it's like a rebranding. What Social Biz King was saying, it is kind of like follow me, marketing Jesus and stuff. No, he's pretty good. He is pretty good. He knows what he's talking about. And he's from Australia, and for
everybody
America,
loves Australian accents.
Right. So no, I really think that's going to be one of the keys, especially if you feel like you're kind of stuck in your business, stagnant in your business. Mm-hmm. That's a good way to do it, and not that what she was saying, what that top promoter was saying was bad, because it's not. That is a great way, but a lot of people are just going like, well, I've already bought the samples, right? I've already done I've already brought the promotional material, and I'm not getting traction. So instead, give something away that's free that you have, as opposed to buying something else. But it's got to be something that's quality. So and a lot of times, if people are connecting because it's your time, then give them your time. I mean, it's a commodity. Yes, once it's gone, it's gone. It's not like you can order more time in the mail, right? So be straightforward with it and be committed, but try it. Maybe do a video and say, look, guys, I'd really love to be able to talk with you one-on-one. I know some people are like super not comfortable with that, but go out and get a Google number or something like that, right? And then put that number up there and say, guys, I want to do a free coaching session with you. I want to, if you and just put yourself out there. And sometimes the fact, and I know this, that sometimes just by putting the phone number out there and saying, call me here, and that, by the way, that Google number can go just forward straight to your phone. You can set the number so it's voicemail only. That's another thing. But if you want to connect with somebody, you can put that number out there without giving your personal cell phone out. That's my point. You said just by putting the phone number in there and say, look, guys, I'll take up to 5 people. I have time today to talk with up to 5 people. Australia. Yeah, you're right. Australia, you're right. Facebook does hate MLM and network marketers because they think it was just a spam. Okay. Just create a mini blog site with around 8 posts around the topic, which are products and PPC ads to blog to it. That's a great strategy. That really is the idea of what you're doing is you set up a blog and you run ads to it. I mean, I do it on a more consistent basis in that my blog is my home. And what he's saying is that by doing that, you're running ads. You're basically pointing traffic to a blog site by using an ad campaign. And if Facebook for whatever reason doesn't like that domain name, then they'll turn it off and they'll flag it. And all you have are like 8 short posts in there. You're not doing like if they ban JonathanDrip.com, I'm going to be pissed, But I already know because I just spent all the time and my money and my effort and all this to build up my brand, and then they freaking go right out and they block it, and I've lost all of that momentum, right? At least on Facebook. Right. Now, because I know the rules, I'm not going to do anything that's even close to spammy or scammy for them. Yeah, YouTube ads are another way to do it. With a permanent redirect. Yeah, to your affiliate page, right? That's another method to do it. But if you're growing your personal brand where your face is on there and you want to be known for your face, Sylvia, I'll be honest, don't do those. Well, this way, don't do those. They work. Don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. They do work. And if you're just trying to drive traffic through a brand name or through like a logo, those aren't bad ways to do it. Because it's blog centered, it's YouTube centered with an affiliate offer. And that really is, I'm not gonna lie. That's what it is. That's what you do. You have an audience, you send them to an offer, and then they buy. It does not get any simpler than that. But now we're just a little more creative with how we're going to do it. You do it with your Facebook video. Your Facebook video, that's your offer that you're using to drive traffic to what? Your sale. And it may be that you're like, you want people to call you on the phone. Maybe you want people to message you. It may be that you just want them to go to your website, your customized, website with free hosting included in the annual membership price, right? Right. And just sign up and join. Don't make it super complicated.
Well, it's not lack of friends. I have, between my master's degree and everything, I have like 1,200 friends from all the colleges and things. So it's not a lack of people, an audience. It's just in the beginning where I did that blah on everybody, it turned them off. So I do still have people that trickle in. I think from the consistency, they're like, oh, she's still in this, must be something to it. And I've had people trickle in and say, well, I've been watching your posts. Of course, we all know that not everyone sees every post, but I do have those people that still trickle in. So I know that my Facebook, that's not a dead horse as our title. It's not totally dead, but I just think I could reach more people because I know people need the product that I have.
Sure.
So it's just reaching those people that are, that need it. And I want to help people. That was the whole point of me getting in this, was to help my family. Of course, they're the hardest to reach, but that's the whole point, is to help people.
So here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. I think that more than anything else, I think you need to have a very end goal in mind. It's overall it's a mindset, but you need to have a very, very clear end goal in mind. Look, let's just say I want to get 3 signups within the next 2 weeks. Then you need to be thinking, then the next thing is, hey, Australia, thanks so much. Right. So you need to think about your goal, the timeline you're going to do it, and then comes the methodology to do it. And I think a lot of people end up skipping and going straight to that last thing, where they're like, oh, well, just contact your friends and just do this. And I'm kind of like, well, what am I going to contact them with? Hey, come join my business. And a lot of people, then it's like standing on the street corner handing out flyers that people walk into your place of work. You have a job, you stand out there with a flyer. Do you know how quickly like your boss would be like, come here, we need to talk. Stop handing out your crap at my front door. That's effectively what you're doing. Right. So instead, making it a part of it's a part of your lifestyle. If that's the kind of product that you have, and Sylvia, I know that's the case.
I've lost 40 pounds with it, so I use it every day.
Well, you need to market the crap out of that. And I don't mean like in a spam way, but it's like, hey guys, I can finally do this. I never used to be able to do this, and it can be the little stuff. Guys, I can see my feet for the first time in 5 years, right? Okay, maybe it's a little embarrassing, but that's kind of the position you're in terms of people that were there and their insecurities. So take them from the A to the B.
Do you recommend like picking 3 or 4 people at a time on your list and just talking to them personally, saying, hey, this helps blood sugar. I know you got blood sugar problems or whatever it is, and talking to them personally, or do you think that would just turn them off even more?
I'm going to say it like this from my perspective. If somebody messaged me and essentially said, hey, you're fat.
No, I'm not saying that. I wouldn't do that.
I know, but that's kind of like the overall essential kind of message. Yeah. Hey, you're fat. You need this product. Okay. I'm putting in those terms. Right. I'd be like, block, unfriend, Right. So we don't want to do that, And now, granted, my list, it doesn't have like 20 people on it, and I don't necessarily know them personally. And I'm going to instead of doing it like that, I'm going to let Facebook be my outreach, because I'm going to post consistently. I'm going to post relevant things. I'm going to post things that people want to see with a mixture of a business opportunity. And understand that there's nothing wrong with a business opportunity as long as it fits into your overall, what you're talking about. And I think if you don't do it that way, I think it's absolutely, absolutely, absolutely out of touch with how people are using social media. So don't be afraid to be who you are, but don't just like, blah, 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 you need to buy my stuff. You need to buy my stuff. Oh, I'm so glad to be using this stuff. Don't do that, because that's why people are like so turned off and they have no desire whatsoever to be involved. Right. If you see to post something you like.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yes. Sharon. Yeah, that's a good point, BC, because somebody else is putting it out there. that, hey, look, I feel really awful today, or like I've got no energy, then send them a message. You maybe like the comment and say, look, hey, I remember feeling that way, but then send them a private message.
Yeah, I do that.
That's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you don't, now the problem is that I can do that with like 30 people, and Facebook's like, hey, you need to stop that. You're messaging too fast, or you're talking to too many people. So just be careful with it, and it's okay to pick 3 people, or 5 people in a week, or 3 people. That's fine. But if you really want to grow your business fast, you need to take bigger action.
So it's like putting a big juicy worm out in the middle of the lake with what you're saying, and just waiting for the ones who want a hook to come.
Yes, but you don't just fish with one pole then. Okay.
Right.
you throw out a bunch.
Several poles.
Yeah, you keep putting it out, and somebody's gonna get hooked. Somebody's gonna like what you're offering, and so they're gonna be a part of that. So and I try to encourage a lot of people with free, or the other word is organic growth.
Yes.
It's the same thing, because you're either paid or you're not paid on Facebook.
Right.
It's either paid ads promoting or it's not. So that's my thought. As far as just the overall strategy, if you feel like you're stuck, then you need to take steps to get yourself unstuck, and really kind of being a little creative. And so for us, it's actually more of a launch. It's the beginning of something telling, and I've been wishing it would have been like really nice weather the last couple of days here. So I want to do a couple of nice videos outside playing with the kids, but it's been friggin' raining for like 6 days. I've never seen so much rain in this state ever, but it's making everything green and grow again. So now I got to mow the grass, or rather have somebody mow the grass. But anyway, do you guys have any other questions? Do we have, we have questions? We have you guys thinking about stuff? I'm going through this.
Ed's got quiet since I got on.
I was just listening to you. I could talk for days.
I'm a talker, but
right?
My job is to talk, so this is good to listen.
Yeah, I get there. And last night I was telling you guys last night, hopping on, I could not believe it. I was on a blab with Alex Kahn, like the Alex Kahn, right? And just listening to him, because he was like, yeah, this is his first hosted blab. He just hopped on. He's like, I just want to see what happens, and I was just like, I had a one-on-one, talk with Alex Kahn, and we shared some stories, and then had some other people come on, and we all shared our first our first Periscope day story, and then we talked about some features that we all wanted to see on Periscope, and I was like, where in the world else would I be able to do this? And I brought that up. I said, Alex, this conversation we're having now probably would never happen in real life because of time, because of distance, and things like that. But because of Blab, all of a sudden now I'm able to have a conversation with you, and neither one of us has to fly or drive or reserve hotel. I said we can just do this, and this is the first time I think in modern technology history we need to be able to do this at such. It's essentially free. I pay for my internet, but I don't have to pay for Blab as a platform, and that's why I love this. So you guys are going at it over there in the comments. It would almost be like if she wanted to jump on and talk.
I know.
That she could do that.
Come on. She said no.
But guys, I think overall, I think there's some really good strategy content in presenting your offer or your pitch, but doing it in a way that makes sure that people they don't feel like you're throwing up on them. That it's part of who you are, but it doesn't overwhelm you. Because that'd be like me just talking about just my kids, or only talking about my wife, or only talking about coffee. No, if I was a coffee brewing company or something like that, like if I was a barista and that's what I did and I owned businesses that sold coffee, you could understand why I would talk about it a lot more. But if that's all I ever talked about, you guys would be like, yeah, I don't think this is cool. I'm not going to talk to them.
Unless you're going to give us free coffee.
Yeah, but even then, right? You can only drink so much coffee in the day. And I guess, and my point really is that show who you are. I mean, you're a wife, you're a mom, you're a friend, right. I don't know if you're a sister, but like I'm a brother, like I have a sibling, so I show myself in these other things. I have friends, like I go to church, I go to, I sing, and I do all these different things, right? But if all you ever found out about me was that I talked about Facebook, and, yeah, you might know me as Facebook, but when I'm not talking about Facebook, you're like, I don't want anything to do with you. So that's really kind of where we're at, but all right. Do you guys have any other questions? Is there anything else you guys want to talk about today? Kind of continuing on our conversation, right? Because I know what I know what the things that I do in my day, and I've actually kind of molded my day around my Periscope Lab experience. And I'm getting like messages today. What's going on? It's been raining here for about 6 days. I'm not joking. I've never seen so much rain before, ever. I wish it would be nice because I want to go outside. I feel like I'm atrophied in my chair right now. But yeah, you too. And you're down in Georgia, so. Ed, where are you located?
Down in South Florida, West Palm.
Okay. Is it well, I know it doesn't rain like on cue there?
Usually about between my son's baseball practice is 5:00 each day, so it normally comes about 4:45. So
okay.
We're always waiting. Is it going to be rained out or not?
Yep. Or it'll rain and then get the field completely wet.
That's it.
And then yeah.
And then the parents sit there and the humidity is drying out at 92 degrees. So
yeah, I also used to live in
watch
in
the
Arizona,
weather reports,
right?
So
well, in Arizona, they have these like storms that come through. They call them like microbursts. That's what I always call them. These microbursts, and they would just come through, and they're like a path of destruction. And then it would be so hot and humid, but then you wait like a half hour, and all the humidity is just like burned off because it's like 110 there all the time in the shade, But Celia, thanks for hopping back on. You just lose connection. Oh,
yeah, it's raining.
Well, Celia, did you have any other questions or something to kind of brainstorm about, or things like that?
I'm excited about this blog because my blog's been up 29 days now, so I need help to get it started. So I'm excited about this book.
Okay, and it's a really good. And
as soon as I get my child up and feed him, I'm going to get on that.
Yeah,
today.
so do and seriously, if you have a problem, just quick message me. I'm on, and I'll just message me on Facebook or something like that if we're connected, or on Twitter, wherever, and I'll send you. I'll email you the PDF file so you can at least just watch it that way. Okay. Because there's no sense in all that kind of stuff. So, anyway, I think. I think overall, having a really good strategy as far as showing that you're consistent and things like that, Sylvia, I think that would really help. Come up, do something that you can, that you're good at. Talk about and be a part of something that you do well. Whether it's storytelling, whether it's blog writing, whether it's infographic stuff. If you're like a statistic person, people love that kind of stuff. But whatever it is, do it and do it really well and start to be really known for it. I never did. I did videos before, but I never really did any of this stuff until this platform really came out, and I really took it. And you guys know me. I was pretty hardcore on Periscope. I Periscope twice a day for about an hour, and I practiced, and I'd stay up at night going, okay, what am I going to talk about? What are the things? And I would sketch it out in my mind so that when I got on the show, I wasn't going and waiting for my next slide to show up for me to know what to talk about. To the point now where, I might have, like over here on my left, I run two screens. It's just the only way I need that much eye space. You guys would never know if I'm running slides and talking about what's on my slides. You guys, and it's really not important as far as you guys. it's just a skill that I had to develop. And so, Sylvia, I mean, that's what I'm going to encourage you to do, is to think about what do you do really well and how can you kind of really define your niche. And some people really, really do well, especially moms. I don't know why. Maybe it's just the market, but they do really well with really quick, informative, concise videos, just talking about like a point. It's not a half-hour Periscope. I mean, you can use Periscope. It's not a bad idea.
I did Periscope once. It terrified me.
Freaking out. Yeah, and that's okay. I had to do like.
This is more comfortable.
But in your videos, the whole point is that you're presenting. You're not looking for feedback right now. You're making it available for when those people are ready. And
you can retake those.
Yeah, don't overkill it. You know, have some mistakes in there. Be a real person. You know, some people I know they actually fumble the camera on purpose when they start a video to make it look more authentic. It's part of their brand. It's I mean, it's not their brand. They're not the camera fumbler, but they're trying to bring that you know, it's like the girls that they have you know, they like their hair and stuff. So, but they kind of just put it up in a bun and they kind of make it look messy. And they're like, hey, I just woke up, you know, and you're, you know, part of you is like, I really don't care. But a part of you is just also kind of like, yeah, I know that feeling. But the whole point really is, hey, Samantha, thanks for joining, by the way. I just saw you hop on. The whole point really is that they're being authentic. They're being really short and concise with their message. And when you start to marry those two ideas and methodology, you can come on in too if you really want.
Come on
in. When you start to marry those two concepts together, doing that consistently will help people know, like, and trust you better. I'm at work in cubicle land, right. So you know, that's just one of those things that you know I want you to be thinking about, is maybe just doing some of those shorter videos as a way, if that's where your comfort zone lies. Okay, if not, practice it. Honestly, do Periscopes, and don't really give a rip about what other people think. Once you get over that, right? Once you start to get over that, like, honestly, you know, do you know how many trolls I've had on Periscope coming in and being, I mean, maybe you've seen some of my, I mean, I really don't give them the time of the day. I don't even be like, oh, that's awful. I can't believe I'm just talking, and I just scroll right up, block, and boom, I'm on. I mean, I don't even try to miss a beat when I'm talking. I'm not going to give them the time of the day.
Yeah, a month or two ago when Periscope was really taking off, a guy did one about trolls, and that was one thing I didn't want to get on there, because I was like, how am I going to deal with these little, you know, comments and do it gracefully?
And you are at a disadvantage.
He got on, and he said that, of course, you know this on statistics, half of them are made up on the spot, but he said 80% of them were children under the age of 16, just bored. And if you look at the comments, you can tell their immaturity. I mean, so that helped me a little bit, because I thought, well, I'm not going to let some child stop me from doing my business. You know, that's crazy. You wouldn't, you know, intimidate you from, this is my family I'm providing for. I'm going to let a child say a few comments and keep me from providing for my family. So that really changed my aspect.
You have to realize and prioritize. It's kind of like what if somebody was doing that to your kid? You know, how would you respond? In that you'd be very protective, and it's okay to feel that. And obviously, you want to do it with grace. You know, the whole point isn't to, at least for me, is not to humiliate them back. I just block them. You know, I just prevent them from being able to comment any further. Obviously, if it's something like really awful, that then you report them appropriately. But don't give them, all they're looking for is like literally about 2.5 seconds or whatever of glory, where they think it's fun. But really, you know, you guys, you know, if you're online, I mean, you know, you too, you're running your business. This is your business. This is what you do. You know, maybe part of what you do, but you know what I'm saying? I mean, this is part of who you are. Don't let people.
If you give them attention, that's what they're wanting. So you just
that's all they really want. They're not really there to help you. They're not there to be your friend, or anything like that. So just don't waste your time doing it. Don't do it. It's not worth your time. So don't do it. Focus on other income producing activities. Things like making quality videos. finding different ways that you can add value to to the community. Okay, and be really honest about it. Look, hey, I suck at writing, right? Or I need to improve. Well, then either make a choice, don't do it, or get better at it.
Right. I keep giggling because I'm thinking of a Periscope. I was watching Chris. He's someone that's in my network, and him and his wife were getting on. They're crazy anyway. And him and his wife were getting on one day, and they just wanted to do a prayer for somebody on their team that was really sick. And this troll got on and was smarting off dirty comments and stuff. And he says, and Lord, can you throat punch that guy right there? And then they blocked him. And I just started cracking up because I was like, who else asked God to throat punch somebody?
Throat, right.
But they were really saying nasty things, but it was
right. Then what are you going to do?
But he took it with humor, and then he blocked them. So I mean,
Yeah. So don't let those people distract you from what your real goal is. And you started to talk about what your goal was, or what you wanted, and distinguish between in your mind what your why is, the reasons why you're doing it. Like if you're doing this to produce, maybe you're doing this to grow, have some extra income, and there's nothing wrong with that. Just be real honest about it. Maybe you're doing this to provide for your kids. Maybe you're doing this to give you time off so you can spend with your family, pay off extra debts. And your why can slightly change.
Right.
I mean, it just so understand that. Like some people, that's the reason why they're doing a business, is to become debt free.
Well, that's what I was talking about yesterday during the blog. When it started off, it was all about the money. I was like, wow, look at all this money people are making. I got to do this. Yeah. And then as I took the products and I started, losing weight, and my lipid levels started, and I started feeling amazing. I was like, this is really a good opportunity to help a lot of people. So that money wasn't as important, especially like when I seen my mom, she's had arthritis so bad. And when it started helping her, I thought, well, I've helped my mom. Who else can I help? So then, like you say, it totally changed. It wasn't even about the money anymore. I mean, yeah, money's great, but it's paper. You can, like you said, if you're sitting in a room full of money, I mean, what fun is that? But to know that you've helped so many people, that's really where it's changing for me. And of course, I have a 21-month-old baby, so that's my priority right now, is I want to help provide for him. Sure. So yeah, it does change as you go. And as you grow as a person, I think that they change too. Your goals change and your priorities change. So does your business.
Yeah, I was just talking with my wife yesterday or the day before that, and talking about, doing, establishing your why, and being be really transparent with yourself about it, but establishing your why. What is the reason you're doing this? And understand very full well that your why is likely going to change as you grow in your business and you grow as a person. Because the things that I loved 10 years ago are not necessarily things that I love right now. And I know a lot of people in trying to figure out their purpose and things like this and understand. And one of the exercises, even the questions that I ask in the Blogging Bootcamp is, what is something that you loved to do when you were 8? And the whole point and purpose of that question is to help you kind of get out of your adult mindset head, which is like everything has to have a function. Everything has to be, purpose driven and goal oriented and stuff like this. Sometimes we just need to get out. Is going, how and what is the new why? Yeah, that's off. Get off the why cycle. Yeah, and what we find is that, look, what we need to do, at least this is how I've always thought of it, is that we need to understand why we're doing something in the point of being real honest with ourselves. Are you doing this in a mindset that helps you? Are you reaching out? And understand that it's going to change. But having that clear understanding of who you are is probably one of the biggest, I think, business drivers, small business drivers. If you're a solo business owner, I think that really helps you. And I said, David, I was understanding that what I teach is and coined is how and what is the new why. Get off the why cycle, right? Well, actually, if you want to hop on it and kind of explain that a little bit more, share that a little bit more, I'd love to hear that. I'd gladly have you come in. So I think that knowing what that is, and knowing and seeing the difference between what a why is and what a goal is. Maybe the why is I want to provide for my kids, and how are you going to do that? By becoming debt free.
Right.
There's a difference. But some people are like, they just want to get in business because they just want to pay off their debt. They don't really give a rip about the business. And on one hand, I'm like, that's fine. As long as you're good at what you do. Hey, we're having David. Let's see if you can connect in.
Hey.
David Wang, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having
Hey,
me.
David.
Oh, I can't hear you.
Oh, hang on.
Or you're really low, one of the two.
How is
Yeah,
that?
it's really low for me too.
Oh, yeah.
That's better.
Is that better?
Perfect. Now I can hear you. Hey, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks. So what are you?
So tell us about that.
Oh, about the.
Helen, what is your new why?
Hang on, let me switch my headset on so I don't get the echo on my.
Sorry, John, I didn't mean to take your show.
No, not at it.
I was just curious about what he thought.
No, that's exactly. I was hoping he's be able to hop in and be able to share because I think it's a really interesting concept of where he's going. And I know and I'm not familiar necessarily specifically with you, David Wang, but I've kind of heard that. And it's probably because you're influencing other people to think in those terms. Think outside. It's not just. I mean, I think it's like the word authenticity. Be authentic. I think it's starting to get overused. So, David, I'll let you kind of take over. It's like, tell us, that how and what is the new why. Tell us about that. Explain that a little bit.
Yeah, I think one of the things we talked about, be debating about this whole why cycle and movement is not so much the pondering why is a bad thing, but it seems like it has taken over to be a higher priority than actually execution, right? Executing. Mm-hmm. And so at the end of the day, is figuring out what to do and how to do it and how to do it better is what gets you into the phase of motion, right? And you have to get going in order to accomplish and achieve things. And why, like you're saying earlier, why it changes. The reason, the motive, the purpose, the sense of self changes over time and over a season as an entrepreneur, as a person, as a business. And so I think it's a cycle that too many companies spend way too much money, way too much time on, and not really helping them transition into the part of actually executing. So imagine you have a team of people, and everyone's going through the why exercise. Most likely, they're gonna all have their own versions of why. Now, who's gonna help them bring that all together and create a collective why, right, as an organization? So you have a common goals, common agenda and purpose, and to achieve these things. And again, we just work with too many enterprise and companies that don't spend enough time on the how-to thinking and move forward. And so everyone is really easy to hop on a soft, a feeling topic of why, because we all want to matter. And at the end of the day, we're not achieving as much.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel that they kind of spend so much of their almost like so much of their energy on it that by the time they answer the why question, that they really have just they're tired. I mean, I know for me, I can only work so much on so many things, and then I'm just like, look, I need to take a break. And by the time they get done with that why question of trying to get really deep down and talk to their feelings and things like this, they spend so much time doing it that the next step, which is, like you said, to implement and to be able to now start taking those action steps, they're literally so tired that they can't do it.
Yeah, it really, the thing we teach people is really, there's a season for everything. And so if you want to do this throughout the year, that's great to reflect, to make sure you're still doing the right stuff, the right reason, right? That you're still passionate. And as an individual, but also as a corporation, as an enterprise. But it can't be a regular ongoing conversation where, because then things just become too fluid and I think we lose focus. And I'll give you a primary example. We were working a couple of months back, and we got pulled into a project with a very large consulting firm here in Minneapolis. And they have a huge presence all over the world. And they took probably 20-some of their young consultants that specialize in the tax and government nonprofit sector through the exercise, pay a lot of money. They went offsite, did all this stuff, and for the why exercise, and they came back. And one of my teams actually went out there to do some graphic recording to kind of help facilitate and collect, right? Reflect on the experience. And one of the things I ended up speaking with the managing director afterwards is asking them, well, how is this exercise, all the why, benefiting your company, right? How are you having this conversation with your customers? How are you helping these young consultants going out there and starting the right conversation and help your clients and prospect understanding the investment that you guys have made, right? All these folks, and how you could potentially change the way they work, the quality of work, which is really all the value that you're trying to convey to your prospect. They didn't have an answer. They didn't have the how or what, right? And so you look at that, I mean, that's tens of thousands of dollars that just went through the cycle, went through the system, but there's no actual tangible financial output at the very end because they didn't spend the time asking, right, the how and the what.
In that they're answering all these questions, and you say, how many tens of thousands of dollars? The other commodity side is that I think is that there's a loss of time, and often there's that loss of opportunity that you literally cannot get back. It doesn't matter how many dollars you throw at it. If you're trying to build momentum, you're trying to create, some kind of movement or some kind of cultural change within your company, if that's your point, or if you're trying to launch a new campaign, and you spend too much time on one thing, it really throws everything else off to the point that you may actually have missed the opportunity to make the impact in your business that you want. And I know for a lot of people that I try to work with, particularly with new people, that's one of the things that we try. I call it fast tracking. We try to fast track you to success by just answering the question of why, but then attaching that directly to, now you're going to do this, now you need to do this, and then you should be getting this kind of result in this kind of time frame. And by really simplifying it, I think, there are books and hours of film and, I don't know how many, millions of downloads, et cetera, that just, all they do is just try to help you get in touch with your inner child, but don't actually bring the value of saying, okay, now you know why you're doing this, what are you going to do to achieve those goals? And I think, Sylvia, you and I were talking about that just before David hopped on. But, I think that's really the essential part about it. I think time is that one commodity you'll never be able to get back. So use it wisely.
I mean, for me, my why wasn't the problem because that was a personal thing. I could come up with that. And like I say, it changes. But the how do I get this? It's, we, in my company, we have different ranks. It wasn't, how do I get to the next rank was my question, not why I'm here, but how do I get there? It's not enough just to say, well, I want to be silver or gold or whatever. You have to have those steps. And those steps is what I'm lacking is, besides just puking it all over my social media, hey, come buy from me, what are the steps that I can take to visually see this every day so that I'm chunking a little bit more each day to work toward that goal? That's where I'm having problem is learning the how part of it.
Well, Sylvia, for 5 easy payments of $19.95, you too can have my right. And I'm just going to say,
I would probably pay that, John.
Right? But here's my point.
Right.
I have coupons. Just
make sure you add the promo code in there.
You're right.
We'll donate. No. And my point really is with saying that is that sometimes we get to that point where we have that feeling of desperation. Where you're like, look, I want this. I want to do this.
Yeah.
And just tell me what I need to do. And so much in our culture is so much into here are the 3 steps to your success. Like it's going to apply to everybody.
Duplicable.
Because if there were really only 3 easy steps, everybody would have
Everybody
already
would
done
do
it.
it.
Trust me.
Right.
Or you would be one person selling those 3 easy steps, and everybody would be making millions and millions of dollars, and there would be no need for an income disclosure on an affiliate offer. Okay, you see what I'm going?
Right. Yeah.
There are keys and there are strategies, but they need to be customized, and that's where you know when you have the real professional people. The real I don't even want to use the word. You have the people that have real merit with what they're offering and what their ideas are. That it's not just you do 1, 2, and 3 and everything will be fine. It's how will this work with your brand and with your goals? Because honestly, if you only want to make like $500 a month, then we need to talk about your goals and work appropriately towards that. If you have 5 hours a week total, then we need to work with that. But if you're like, look, I'm full time, I've got 38 grand, and I want some results by the end of the month. Okay, now we're talking about something different. Those 3 easy steps, no. Those 3 easy steps, that's not how it works. You have different goals for different steps for different goals, and understanding that, I think will take a lot of the desperation out of, well, if I just do this, and if I just buy this, and like I said, 5 easy payments of $19.95, you too can have the success that will bring in millions.
I'll pay you on PayPal. You're hired. Let's go.
Right? And I really try to avoid a lot of that in my Periscopes, in my websites, and and even just now on Blab. Let's get away from that. I want to try to drive, if I could, and I said this yesterday, I don't know if it was in the Periscope, if I could, I would drive those people out of the industry with a stick. I'd go racing after them and get out of my industry, get out of my business, because I think it gives network marketing, affiliate marketing, online marketing. I think if you have a presence online any which way, when you hear those kinds of tactics, I think it gives everybody such a bad name because it's so many times we expect something to happen, it just doesn't, because, well, there must be something wrong with me. I follow those 3 success steps and they didn't work. Well, it's because they weren't for you. I think there's better ways to do it.
Yeah, I think that's a great time for, like you were saying, maybe the quote-unquote professionals to really step up and change the conversation. And that's one thing that we try to do is we don't try to be intentionally countercultural, but at the same time, it's some of the stuff just must be said. And if you go on Blab, you go onto Periscope, you go on a lot of channels and platforms, especially on topic of social media, digital marketing. What you find, at least my experience, over 80% of the time, they're simply marketers trying to market each other. And it's almost like everyone's scratching each other's back, right? And then feel really good about it. But there's absolutely no customers in those channels in the pipeline. And so they just simply copycatting what the other person is doing and keep throwing things out there, right? And, if you look at the easy, simple steps, the reason those things work is because most consumers are lazy. They're not thinkers. They don't want to bother with it. And the reason it still works is because the principles remains the same. And so it's easier to toss those quote unquote truth out there. But then it's really when you get past that first layer is I think you quickly start figuring out if the stuff is for real. If these are real, true experts that actually are thought leaders, can they actually find new ways to hack the system? The tricks are working, right? And then all and everything else that goes on with that. And I saw that I took a quick look. Like Ed sounds like he's he's a sales pro. So I guarantee you that anybody that has been in sales for a long time really understand this stuff. You're going to see through most of the BS on the online marketing side of things. And where I think most people could actually use real help is more holistic training in the area of, in my personal definition, is the entire package of selling, right? The entire package of selling is you actually have to be good at selling, the sales aspect of that. You have to be a marketer. You should be a PR person. It should be an advertiser. And to me, that's really the fundamental. That's the root of sales. Right? Every one of marketing stuff like that was created by sales. and eventually got spun off into individual disciplines. And what happened is most people only understand one segment of the selling ecosystem. And so if you can be, I don't know how you can be a great marketer if you're not a good salesperson, because how will you know what I need to close the deal? And I don't know what you guys think about that, but throughout my career, when I run sales teams and building companies and turning around companies, those are some of the areas I focus on right away. And making sure all the teams, all the people, cross-function, understand exactly what everyone needs in order to succeed together, right? And lock them into a single why, or really the company purpose, and right, what's our mission? What are we going after? And I hope that people going online looking for affiliate programs or marketers and support in digital and social media will approach it with a lot more intelligence, and just like if it's too good to be true,
yeah,
most likely it is.
Okay, well then fine. It's only 3 easy payments of $19.99.
We're just gonna keep working your numbers down.
Keep talking, David. It's getting cheaper.
We will negotiate your pricing structure here pretty soon. But I think this is I enjoy this conversation, this line of conversation, and like what Sylvia talking about is really the how. And I think I'd love to see and participate in blabs and channels that really get down to some of those things. And like before, I run a pretty unique space here in the Twin Cities, and one thing that we do as clients and prospect and startups coming here, one of the first things that we vet them on is core belief systems. And one thing, because from my experience, if most people don't understand and don't share core common belief system and the power of thinking, it's really hard for us to get maximum return of the time and resources we're investing in them. And so we really strip everything down to core principles and then build up from there.
Sylvia, I get a lot of the people I train, sometimes they leave their companies I'm with and they'll reach out to me and they get into the marketing product line that you're possibly that you're in. A lot of them I found out going back to them not truly understanding how they believe in what their product is selling, but the steps that you brought up, understanding the how to get there. I was just curious. My advice I always give: do you have a personal sales coach or a mentor that? And I found it to be very successful if they're not attached to your company, so they don't have a stake in the product, but they have a stake in you. And teaching you that how to get you to those next steps. And I think that would be something, is going back to what David said, a lot of times people are talking about products and not understanding the customer's needs. And people really don't even understand that part of understanding a need. They usually cater to our want, but I try to make it simple for people. A need I have yet to been proven wrong on this. A need will always fall in the 4 categories. It will always be a financial need the customer is trying to fix, a image, a productivity, or a health or safety/health. So in the product line, it sounds like you're selling. If someone's looking to lose weight, possibly it could be an image issue, not a health issue, and you need to understand that need before you start spewing the power of your product. Right. And these are the kinds of things a mentor or a sales coach would be able to guide you down that path to get you to those next steps. And then, like I said, they wouldn't have really, to me, I train different companies out there. I'm never worried about the product they represent. I'm more worried about, that to me, I could teach anyone to sell. I could teach everyone on here today. By the end of the day, you all could go to the mall and sell luggage just based on understanding what the customer is looking to need. The product comes easy. That's the easy part.
Yeah, that's the easy part.
So that I think if you're looking for that next step of the how, you might want to focus on someone out there that you've crossed paths with in your life that could really reach out to you, that has that sales mentorship or sales coach that could teach you those steps of that how to get you to the goals that you're looking to achieve.
That's a good point. Thank you.
Yeah, I love that. It just reminds me of, I think one thing we try to remind folks is selling is you're just simply trying to say what the other person is really thinking. And so it's really, a lot of it is true empathy mapping, really understand that. And you can build different persona and profile for that. And then have ready, kind of rehearse that, right? Really understand what you're trying to say to each audience. Like what Ed's saying, depending on the person's objective and goal. And then if you can identify and read them accurately and quickly, right? And then you can start sharing the right kind of stories or information and put your conversation in proper context that will help them open up, engage with you as a person. And, like what Ed's saying, the product it's really irrelevant for the most part. I mean, unless it's something terrible for you. Let's just assume that's not the case. At the end of the day, it's really, are you a trustworthy person for me to take advice from you? And if that's the case, you have personal testimonials, you have understanding, you are empathetic to what the other person's true objective is, right? Mm-hmm. And I think those are the things, when you find that and you can speak their truth back to them, it's one of the greatest hook I think you can have as a sales professional.
Was part of what Ed was saying. That's kind of what I did. Like, you weren't on here probably in the beginning, but my team kind of fell apart. I was training my brand on everyone. So now that I'm living, I'm a product of the product of what I have. So now I'm looking more into healthy things for myself. So that's kind of what I'm putting out. I'm not actually putting my brand out, but I'm putting out health tips and things because that's what I use. And I want to be real. I don't want to be, that fake person. I've lost 40 pounds with the product. And I know a lot of that has to be, it's helping me feel better. So I want to move more. I want to eat less. And it's not just a weight loss thing, but it's an overall health thing. So that's what I'm doing. I'm researching the health. Like Ed was saying, I'm putting more time and effort into the health benefits of the product, not just the branding per se.
Yeah, it sounds like you're actually going through a personal transformation journey. And I think that really could be a powerful approach and to tell your story. Because, whenever we tell people that this is my experience, this is what I do, right? Conversation, when you frame it in that line, it's very difficult for anyone to dispute you and argue with you. Mm-hmm. And then you just inviting them to come along on your journey as you share tips. And if they choose to take the next step and try, whether it's a product, service, and whatever the case might be, right? And most likely, that's just an indicator that you have enough social proof for them to try that. And then as you continue to stay on your journey and continue to be, transparent in an appropriate way, I think that you're going to find that your personal branding development will also get there probably faster than you maybe, plan on right now or not planning on. Mm-hmm. But, I think maybe that's another angle that to think about this.
Yeah, David, I think you hit kind of on a bunch of really key points in that. And Sylvia, I know what you're saying. You're promoting your brand, and really, what you're meaning to say is that you're promoting your product because Sylvia, you are your brand. It's Sylvia that has these products because they're part of your transformation. Because the products aren't transforming; the products are the products. Right. You're the one that's transforming, and that's what you want to continue to show. That you're growing, mm-hmm. and that you're changing, that you're, and take us on the journey. And that's why I think earlier on I was saying, like, do videos, do some pictures, but it's not always product based. It's you based. If you're talking about you, obviously, nobody can argue about you. I mean, not really effectively. I'm using to argue about anybody, but but if you're talking about you in your experience, then you provide your social credit, a credibility, your social proof in doing that, and you do it in that appropriate where it's contextual with your lifestyle. It's going to go a lot further along than ever going just buy my stuff, because nobody wants that.
Because that's where I missed the mark in the beginning. It was just like buy my stuff, and then when I stopped doing that, I mean, just 2 months ago, I had a lady that was taking it in the beginning just because she knew me from church and had stopped. And then she saw me 2 months ago on Facebook. She said, "Oh my goodness, you look amazing. I should have stayed on it and been consistent." So she's a customer of mine again, just from that consistency of me doing to do it, but backing off from that and promoting my health and how it's helped me. She read my bio and said, "I can't believe it's helped you that much. I've got to get back on this." So I think it's slowly starting to take that transformation from where I puked it on everybody and they were tired of it, and I've kind of rehashed me, and I'm just sharing what it's doing for me. I've stopped mentioning the name. I've stopped, whatever. And I think it's helping. But
because I don't think you really need to. And that's part of what I think what Jared was saying in the comments is that, stop selling. Stop selling in the way that they're telling you, because they say, "Oh, we'll just share it out. Take a picture of it and post the infographics." And the reason why they want you to do that right away is because they want you to hit the low-hanging fruit. If there's somebody on your list that maybe is so available, they're just waiting, just put it out there and just work your personal friends and family list, hoping that maybe somebody would join on. But then my thing I've always said is that, well, then what do you do next? Now you've just burned through all of your social credibility because you puked on everybody. And now they really, they kind of have, no pun intended, but they've got a bad taste in their mouth because of what you just did. Instead of just finding out who you're authentic about, which is yourself and your experience, and sharing it consistently over the point, and it kind of goes right into what David was saying, so that's kind of my 2 cents. And that's really why I try to work with people that are just starting out and trying to help them overcome that need to just tell everybody everything all at once and only tell it to their friends and family and wonder why everybody hates them in the process. So anyway, those are my 2 cents. So,
well, I'm going to jump off and let someone else have my seat.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Sylvia. I really appreciate it. Thank you for joining on today.
I'm going to jump off and let someone have my seat and go tend to my child. I think he's about.
Well, thank you so much. We'll be on tomorrow too. So we always do our Periscope in the morning around 9:30, and we kind of switch over and we take the conversation to Blad. And that I think I'm liking the interaction. Is it's a little bit of the Periscope people and a little bit of the new Blad people, and it's really it's really good to get, I think, the feedback from both people like you, David, and as well as you, Ed. Just you guys are pros in what you do. You guys are the people that are going, hey, this is what I think needs to happen, rather than, hey, somebody buy my stuff, which is how a lot of people are taught, and it's frustrating.
Hey, thanks for having me on. I'm going to actually have to jump off to go do a podcast, but I would love to connect with both of you and chat some more and see how else we can maybe work on some shows on here. And I think that could be a lot of fun.
Okay, great. I'd love to have you. Thank you so much.
All right, just ping me anytime, guys. Thank you.
All right, take care. Well, thank you so much, Ed. I really appreciate it, and I like being able to take this from the Periscope and now being able to see you, and hear what you have to say. And I think, honestly, one of these times I'm going to have you almost be like my co-host for a session to be like, Ed, share some wisdom, be a part of this, because I know you like to listen and sometimes it's good just to kind of be quiet and just to take in a little bit. So, but I really appreciate your comments today and your perspective today.
I enjoyed it. Thank you for your time.
All right, guys, I'm going to head this off here. We're going to be signing off. We start this always off with a Periscope at about 9:30 Eastern time, Monday through Friday. And now we're taking this conversation from the Periscope that we start out. We're going to be taking it over to Blab, and where we can talk about things maybe a little bit deeper, let the conversation grow, get some really great insights, and just be able to make things work. And so, guys, I really appreciate everybody joining us today, and I hope to really be able to see you guys soon too. Okay.